What would actually happen if you went inside a volcano? Have you ever looked at a volcano on TV and thought, hang on, what's actually inside that thing? Is it like a giant bubbling cauldron of doom? Is it a secret underground lair where supervillains hang out? Could you slide down it like the world's most dangerous water slide? Spoiler alert, please don't try that last one. Today, we're going to explore the inside of a volcano using our imaginations and some pretty amazing science. We won't go there for real because, well, I quite like having eyebrows. So grab your imaginary heat-proof suit, switch on your explorer mode, and let's go. First things first, what even is a volcano? A volcano is basically a mountain that decided being normal was boring. Most mountains just sit there looking majestic, maybe getting a bit of snow on top, living their best mountain life. But volcanoes, oh no. Volcanoes can spit fire, launch rocks into space. Well, nearly space. Make brand new land and explode like someone shook up the world's biggest fizzy drink. They're basically the show-offs of the mountain world. But beneath all that drama, a volcano is just a place where melted rock called magma manages to squeeze up from deep inside the earth. Think of Earth's outer layer like a giant cracked eggshell made of enormous pieces called tectonic plates. These plates move around super slowly, like snails doing yoga in slow motion. Sometimes they pull apart, sometimes they crash together, and sometimes they slide under each other like a really weird geological limbo competition. When that happens, melted rock can rise up through the cracks, and boom, you've got yourself a volcano. Now, what's actually inside a volcano? And no, it's not just a big tank of lava with a ladder going down. If you could slice a volcano in half, like a massive geology cake, which would be the worst cake ever, by the way. You'd see it's way more complicated than you think. There's the magma chamber, which is a big underground pool where magma hangs out. But don't imagine it like a swimming pool. It's more like a sponge full of super hot, gooey rock. Then there's the conduit, which is a long, twisty pipe that magma travels through. It's like the plumbing system, except instead of water, it's liquid rock. Fun times. You've also got lava tubes, which are tunnels that lava carved out during past eruptions. Think of them like secret underground highways, but instead of cars, they used to have rivers of melted rock zooming through. Inside the magma, there are crystals, minerals, and gases. Water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur. It's like a chemistry experiment gone absolutely wild. And finally, there's the vent, which is the exit door where magma becomes lava and bursts out. Basically, volcanoes are like a secret underground city of heat, pressure, and flowing molten rock. They're way cooler than people think, or should I say, way hotter. Sorry, I had to. Okay, so what would actually happen if you tried to go inside a volcano? Let's imagine it step by step, and trust me, it gets wild pretty quickly. Step 1, approaching the crater. Before you even get close to any lava, you'd notice the air getting seriously hot. The ground would be vibrating like it's got its own personal earthquake. And there'd be this smell. Like rotten eggs mixed with fireworks. Lovely. Those smells come from sulfur and other gases escaping from cracks called fumarole. Already, this is not exactly a 5-star holiday destination. Step 2. The inside heat problem. Volcano heat is not normal heat. Lava can reach 1200 degrees Celsius or nearly 2200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt metal, vaporize water instantly, and turn rocks back into liquid. For comparison, chocolate melts at about 1/10 of that, and wood bursts into flames at 1/4 of that temperature. Inside a volcano, you're dealing with temperatures that are literally off the charts. Even if you had the world's best heat-proof suit, you couldn't get close. Your shoes would melt. The air would burn your lungs even through a mask. Your equipment would overheat and fail. Nature basically hangs up a sign that says absolutely no visitors, thanks. Step 3, the gas trap. If the heat didn't stop you, the air would. Volcanoes release all kinds of nasty gases that push oxygen out of the way, make you cough, sting your eyes, and in the case of carbon dioxide, make you pass out. Inside a volcano, gas can gather in invisible pockets. Some are basically invisible deadly traps. It's like the world's worst game of hide and seek, except you really don't want to find what's hiding. That's why real volcanologists, that's a fancy word for volcano scientists, always carry gas detectors. They're not taking any chances, and neither should you, although I'm guessing you weren't planning a volcano expedition this weekend anyway. Step 4. The pressure problem. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. Magma chambers are under enormous pressure. Imagine a fizzy drink bottle that's been shaken for an entire hour. Now imagine that bottle is the size of a football stadium and filled with liquid rock. If you got too close to a magma chamber, that pressure could suddenly release. Boom. Instant explosion. That's why scientists never try to get near magma chambers. They like being alive. So could you ever get close to lava? Actually, yes. Lava on the surface cools down pretty quickly. Scientists in places like Iceland and Hawaii can stand near it with proper protection and study it up close. But inside a volcano, absolutely not. It's too hot, too pressurized, and way too unpredictable. It's basically the universe saying, I'm going to need you to stay back there, thanks. But here's where it gets fun. Let's use our imaginations. What if you had a magic, 100% volcano-proof suit? A suit that never melts, a helmet that gives you unlimited clean air, boots that laugh in the face of danger, and a bubble shield against explosions. Now what would you see? Well, inside wouldn't be like a big empty cave. It would be tight, cramped, and glowing. You'd see thick orange magma squeezing through cracks like cosmic toothpaste. Crystals would be floating inside like the world's most extreme glitter. Bubbles would be rising and popping. The rock walls would glow red from the heat. It would be absolutely mesmerizing and absolutely terrifying at the same time. If you made it to a magma chamber, it wouldn't look like a lake. It would be more like a slow, sticky, glowing mass of semi-melted rock. You might see giant gas bubbles forming, cracks glowing from the inside, and parts of rock that are half melted and half solid. It's like being inside a gigantic lava bakery where rocks are melting, mixing, rising, sinking, and transforming. And get this. Lava tornadoes are real. When hot air rises and cold air rushes in, you can get swirling spirals of glowing gas. Imagine a tornado, but make it glow orange and way more dangerous. Nature really went all out with volcanoes. A volcano isn't dead or alive, but it acts alive. It rumbles, shakes, moves, breathes out gas, cracks, shifts, and rearranges itself constantly. Being inside would feel like standing inside a giant creature, a really, really hot giant creature that could explode at any moment. Now, kids always ask me this question, so let's answer it safely and scientifically. What would happen if you fell into lava? First of all, lava is not like water. You don't sink into it. It's so thick and sticky that you'd stay on top like trying to jump onto a giant pudding. Except this pudding is 1200 degrees and very, very angry. But here's the thing. The heat would stop you long before you touched it. It radiates so strongly that you can feel it from meters away. So falling into lava like you see in movies, not really possible. Your body would catch fire from the heat before you even touched it. Okay, let's move on from that slightly terrifying thought. What happens before a volcano erupts? Inside a volcano, lots of warning signs tell scientists something big is coming. There are more earthquakes as the ground shakes from magma pushing upward. Gas levels increase, so the volcano releases more fumes. The mountain actually swells. Yes, the whole volcano literally inflates slightly like a balloon. And the ground temperature rises because hotter magma means hotter ground. Scientists measure all these things with sensors, drones, satellites, and robots. Fun fact, many robots melt inside volcanoes. They give amazing data for a few minutes and then become robot soup. It's a noble sacrifice in the name of science. Could we ever explore inside a volcano for real? Scientists are definitely trying. We now use flying drones, magma-resistant robots, ultra-strong cables, cameras on long poles, satellites with heat sensors, and instruments that can measure gas from miles away. One day, we might build a robot that can enter a magma chamber and actually survive long enough to tell us what it saw. But that day isn't today. Volcanoes remain one of the last no-go zones on Earth. Now here's something really cool. Even though volcanoes can be scary, they're actually super important for Earth. They make new land. Hawaii exists because of volcanoes. They create precious minerals like gold, diamonds, and gems. They helped make our atmosphere. Early Earth's air came from volcano gases. They recycle Earth's crust by breaking down old rock and creating new rock. And they make soil super rich, which is amazing for farming. Without volcanoes, Earth would be a very boring, lifeless rock floating in space. So even though they can be dangerous, we kind of need them. They're like that friend who's a bit chaotic but makes life way more interesting. Could anyone survive inside a volcano? Short answer, nope. Long answer, even though humans are pretty clever, volcanoes are way more powerful than us. But here's something amazing. There are creatures that survive near volcanoes. There are extremophiles, which are microbes that absolutely love heat. There are tube worms that live near underwater volcano vents, pikas and foxes live around warm volcanic slopes, and yes, lava crickets are a real thing. Some life forms treat volcanoes like a warm, cozy spa day. Humans, not so much. All right, curious kids, it's time for the volcano quiz. I'm going to ask you 3 fun questions about volcanoes. You'll have a few seconds to think about each one, and then I'll give you the answer. Ready? Let's go. Question 1. What do we call melted rock before it reaches the surface? Is it lava, magma, or hot stone soup? The answer is magma. Once it reaches the surface and flows out of the volcano, then we call it lava. It's like a superhero that changes its name depending on where it is. Question 2. Can you sink into lava like you would sink into water? Nope. Lava is so thick and dense that you'd actually stay on top of it, sort of like trying to jump onto a giant pudding. Of course, you'd burst into flames from the heat before you touched it, but technically you wouldn't sink. Science is fun, isn't it? Question 3. What's the name of the enormous pieces that make up Earth's outer layer? The ones that move around slowly and create volcanoes when they interact? The answer is tectonic plates. They're like giant puzzle pieces that very slowly shift around. And when they bump into each other or pull apart, that's when the volcanic magic happens. So, there you have it. Curious kids. Volcanoes are dangerous, beautiful, mysterious, creative, destructive, life-giving, and one of Earth's greatest wonders. Going inside a real one, not possible, at least not yet, but exploring them with your imagination, absolutely. Next time you see a volcano in a documentary or a book, remember that inside that mountain is a whole world of heat, power, bubbling rock, and ancient mysteries. And thanks to science, we get to learn all about it without melting, which is nice. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share it with your friends and subscribe so you never miss an adventure. And if you have a curious question you'd like me to answer, head over to our website at CuriousKidcast.com and send it in. Who knows, your question might be featured in the next episode. Thanks for listening, Curious Kids. I'm Andy, and I'll see you next time on the Curious Kidcast. Stay curious, stay safe, and definitely stay away from volcanoes.